Hi, this is Charlie giving you Friday's live trading, and hope you're very well. Just having a quick look across the markets. It's 8 o'clock now. I've been sat here for 20 minutes or so, but not really seen anything as yet. So just having a look across these markets, keeping an eye on them. I've got the euro dollar up here at the moment, but they've had a bit of movement overnight, and so we'll see what happens. But I haven't got anything completely specific just yet as far as setups are concerned. I mean, if let's put it into perspective and look at an hourly chart of the euro, we can see that it sort of ran up overnight and has really just gone sideways for many hours now. So I don't really. It's a very muted price action, which then makes it a bit more difficult to then get something specific, which is a setup which is where you've got clarity. So we don't have any news out that's really going to be affecting the euro dollar or any of the dollar pairs today. So we're just reliant on general movement, and that's fine. But at the same time, we obviously want to see what else might propel the markets here today. So I'm sure something will set up. Just for the purpose of disclosure, though, I had got into an Aussie dollar trade late yesterday. Overnight, so to trade for overnight. Sometimes I put positions in that run overnight. So and that's done okay actually. That's the hourly chart of the Aussie dollar. So just for the purposes of disclosure, then there's my Aussie trades from overnight. I've left one open actually, and so we'll see with what happens with that one. But I've banked two off this morning. We've come up to the hourly. Let's have a look here. The 4-hourly upper bands I'd spotted. There we go. We've come up to the 4-hourly upper bands. So I thought, okay, well, I'll take some off and then just see with the last position if it does carry on going, then fine. But anyway, for the purpose of disclosure, I thought I'd better show you that today because that's not something I've done within this video update. Obviously, they were in from last night. Right, I'll press pause for now. We'll come back to this. Okay, so I've just been looking at this Aussie dollar, and the way I'm looking at this is that by the end of today, I'm looking to see if this is actually going to go higher. So we've had this little pullback. We may want to pull back some more. So I'm going to use some of the profits that I've had as a bit of a buffer to go in again, so to speak. We've just done a little pullback, as we can see here. It's fairly muted price behavior overall, so I'm not expecting too much. But I am going to put another unit or two in here actually, and then we'll see how we go. So as we come down to the lower band here, so let's get another unit in there. Okay, so I've put another 2 units in now, and so I'm just going to see if it's just going to meander its way around. Basically what's happened is when it's come up to these highs here in the early hours of this morning, that's the daily pivot. So it's just around about here across those highs there. So it's hit the daily pivot, so it's just been sort of reacting from that. Like I said earlier on, it's also the upper band of those 4-hour charts. So let me bring up the 4-hour time frame again. So there's the upper band. Now we could want to come down to this lower band. So I wanted to be in here because we have just come down to hit some support levels or some other support levels that I use on an hourly chart, which I can't show you. My multiples, for those guys in the room, they'll know what I'm talking about. And so I wanted to be in there, but I know there's the potential for us to want to come and potentially come down to these lower bands here on the 4-hourly chart, but we don't have to, and that's why I've put these 2 entries in there. So I'll show you them in a sec, and we're just going to see. So I'm going to give this one a bit of room to breathe because, like I said, I want to see if I can be in this one and see if we can have a bit of a larger move higher. So let's bring up the account again. So these are the 2 positions I've just got in. Obviously these were the 3 from last night. So these are the ones I've just got in. So I'll get the stops sorted out in a minute. They're going up a little bit at the moment, but it's nothing. So we're just going to have to see how we get on with these, and really I think I'll know if we start breaking up above these highs. Then I know that then we may well be off for a bit of a larger run. So we'll see for now. I'll press pause. Oh, but one thing is that so I've gone in here. I'm going to be using a wide stop here today because I'm using those profits that were banked earlier to effectively pay for this trade. And then if we do come down to those lower bands on the hourly charts, I will actually use that as an add-in position, and that's where the risk will start. So that'll be a normal tight stops on that. So for now, I'm using those profits to sort of pay for this trade. So the stop's gonna be, I don't know, I'll put it off way down. If we look at the hourly chart, for example, then we've got an hourly 21 down here in the 50s, so it's got to at least be below that, and that would then come in with those lower 4 hourly bands. If I can get to the chart, yeah, there we go, into the 50s. So if it does want to come down, then I've got to allow my stop's got to be way down here basically. So that's what I'm going to do, and it's a different trading because I can't see any actual day trading, individual specific day trading setups. So just having to trade it this way today. So more on a sort of a intraday swing basis, basically. So and as I've got those profits in the bank, I'm looking at this overall and thinking this Aussie dollar may want to have a bit more upside. If I'm completely wrong, then I'll end up giving back those profits that I made overnight. But that's okay, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes you have to use your profits, or so to speak. It's still a new trade, and you have to put risk on if you want to be in the markets and be making money. And so you can't always be. One thing that traders are susceptible to is that once they've made some profits, they don't want to then. They're fearful of getting back into the markets, and obviously you have to keep your account ticking over, keep the scoreboard ticking over, and so but what happens then is a trader will then tighten up their trading activity once they've had a nice little run for several weeks or whatever. Then they find that they get a little bit tight with their trading because they're so fearful of giving back the profits that they've made, and that's a problem that all traders will experience at some point or other. And that can either happen over a period of time like I'm talking about there, but even sometimes on an intraday basis. Now, I'm very much a believer that when day trading, that you want to try and if you have a good morning, so to speak, then you might want to protect those gains in the afternoon. You don't want to risk giving it all back. But what I'm talking about here is something a little bit different in that because I've made those gains overnight, so I could very easily have just sat there and just not done anything today, so to speak. But at the same time, if you're seeing an opportunity, then you've got to put that fresh opportunity on. It's not a day trade opportunity, though. I think that we've got something maybe a little bit more upside just yet, because overall we've had that big reversal. Let's go back to the 4-hour chart. Actually, we can probably get away with going to an hourly chart. So we've had this big move up, then we've had this big reversal, and obviously now we've just retraced a portion of that reversal. But it's only a small portion of it, really. So I want to see if we've got a bit more upside to get up into the 77s. So we shall see. So I think this one's probably going to take a while to play out. So I'll press pause for now. Okay, so just back. I've just been getting ready. So we can see the Aussie dollar's been coming up a bit since I got in down here. But this is only on a 5-minute chart, it's not a lot, it's just been playing around really. So what I'm looking at is, again, we've got a chart which will go out to the hourly time frame. Oops, that's a 6-day chart, we don't want that, do we? Hourly chart. There we go. It's overall sort of going sideways. But when I see a market which is going sideways, what happens is stops obviously build up on either side of the market. And so what I'd like to see is actually price to come down. I mean, I don't obviously mind if it goes up higher because I'm in with those units, but I'd like to build this position to a larger position anyway. So, and I'm not going to build it if we just creep up. I'd have to go only if it was really accelerating and we had a really nice price bars like over here sort of thing. So, which is not going to happen because we haven't got any news today. So, what I'd like to see is if we can break these lows from overnight. If we break these lows, then and then what I'll be looking for is for them to price to settle, because what often happens is we go back to the 5-minute chart. There we go. Is these lows I'm talking about? Maybe these lows over here as well. So we can come well into the 60s. We break all of those, and then it settles and comes back into its bands, and that's where I really like to hook up and see if we can get some more. If I can buy some more units in this. and that's when I'll tighten up all the stops and have the stops wherever it is that I get in. Now I am going to be going down the gym this morning, so I'm leaving this to sort itself out, and hopefully I don't miss it when I do go out. But I'm suspecting this is going to take quite a while, so I'm not going to be in a massive rush. I want to see how the price action plays out, so to speak, as and when it does break these lows. It's not something that I need to immediately get in just because we've broken the lows. So I'll be watching, waiting for the price action to steady a little bit, and so. But hopefully that doesn't all take place and then starts coming up whilst I'm there out. But anyway, that's the plan. So if we do come down, now if we do just come up, if we hold here and we just start steadily coming up, then I'll just hold on with those 3 units, and as you've already seen, it will end up being a nice enough day if we were to come up. But if we come down, then that's when it starts getting more interesting, and where I want to build a slightly larger position, and then see if then by the end of today it then starts coming back up again. We've got a nice little trend line across these highs here, which I can see. So if I bring up the let's bring up the trend line tool. So let's just pop that across. So yeah, I can put that across there. Yeah, it's not a bad little trend line there. So we've got that coming into contention at some point as well. So probably later on. It's had a couple of attempts against it, been rejected. That's good. So I want us to come down now, and then we'll see if we can come back up later. Now, if I really want to get clever, what I could do is actually start hedging and selling here at the same time. So I could actually put a couple of sell orders in to match my overall long orders. So let's bring this up again. So in theory I could sell here a couple of units against the 2 that I've gone long on earlier on, pop a stop just a bit above here. So if we do just come up, then fine, I'll take a small stop out on those. But if we come down like I want us to, then I'll make a little bit of money on those, which are offsetting the longs from earlier on, which is all fine. But because I'm going out, I could miss out on that. So I'm just debating on whether to do that or not. I think I'd rather just say, do you know what? I haven't got the time. I'm going to be out and about, like I said, and I may miss the opportunity to close out. So, and it doesn't have to come down. Remember, it doesn't have to come down to those levels. So, for that reason, I think I'll leave that opportunity. If I had more negative momentum in at the moment, then I might be tempted, but we don't. We still got positive momentum on the hourly charts. So for now, I think I'd like to see us come down. Then I can build a position, but it doesn't have to. So we shall see. I shall press pause for now. We're already 13 minutes into this. I'm talking too much again. Now I've just walked in from the gym, and I can see that actually we have come down. Look, while I've been out, and we've come back in. So I'm still a little bit out of breath, and we've come back in. So, if I've missed out here, it's not the end of the world. I've missed out in adding in, because I would have added in if I'd have been here. It broken these lows, exactly what I said I wanted it to do. Then it's come back in. I would have been able to build the position there. But it may not still be completely over yet. I might still roll back over again and do one final double bottom and marginal new low. We never know. We'll see. But at the end of the day, I'm still in with those. With 3 positions still at the moment, and if it just gradually moves up from here, so be it. It may be that if we break out this afternoon and we don't come back down, I can then start building a position as we start heading up. So we shall see about that. Right, I better go and get myself sorted out, and I'll be back to this in a bit. Oh, crikey, just walked back into my office. Shows you what you can miss. I think when I last looked at it, we were over here, and I've just been to the shops. I've just walked in and thought, oh, okay, let's have a look at the account then, because I've not obviously been able to add any more to these positions than we already had. So these are the 2. Remember, I closed this morning. Still got this one running. I was in on these ones around, as we can see, 76.25 last night. I got in, and then these are the 2. Remember earlier on, 74 and 72. So obviously the overall P&L is marching up, so that's okay so far. But you look at it now and think, okay, that was a big miss there whilst down the gym. But that's just the way it is. say la vie, that's life. Sometimes you catch them, sometimes you don't. My analysis was correct. I said exactly what I was looking for this market to do: come down, take those stops out, and then settle, and then I would have then come into the bands, and I would have, if I'd have been here, I'd have then bought it. So I would have been sitting on a lot more than 1,500 quid right now. But anyway, it's coming up. So, but we've still got a little bit of a mismatch of momentum across the board. We've always had positive momentum today, hence why I wanted to be a buyer. But still a little bit. We haven't got them all lined up for a pure momentum play, so to speak. For those people that know my momentum. So at the moment, it's having a nice run up here. It's just done a double top into effectively the overnight highs. And we're just going to have to see, like I said, see if we can break up some more. So at the moment, I have no real intention of closing out at the moment. So we'll give it a little bit more time, and then, I've just spotted there might be a trade setting up. I'm just seeing something on a 5-minute chart. So I may well get a trade setup coming. So watch this space. It could be a trade setup coming in the next, I don't know how long, but once it sets up. Okay, so there is a little setup, but it's just not worth it from a pips perspective. I don't think it's really worth bothering with. It's only to go from effectively where we are now, 90 back to 95. Take the spread off, and you're talking about 4 pips. I'm not scalping for 4 pips. It's just a certain setup. So at the moment, if we just draw out a little bit, if we come back to the hourly chart, maybe a 30-minute chart, maybe a bit easier. Then you'll see that we're effectively just doing a little bit of we have done a bit of a double top at the moment. So it's had that nice run. If we go back to the 5-minute chart, so that nice run. But all we've done is come back up to those overnight highs. So if I zoom out a little bit, there you go. These are the overnight highs. Well, I say overnight, it was whatever time that was, 6 a.m., whatever it was. So we need to see this push on through and see if it can actually properly get above 77. So still, sitting in this, what did I get in this morning? Where did we go long? Over here this morning, 72, I think it was, or so, and 72 and 74, wasn't it? Something like that. And we're sitting at 90 at the moment. So, but I really want to see if we can get that bit higher yet. So we'll carry on pressing pause. I've got a lot to do on Monday's video. Bit of a rant on Monday's video, so look forward to that one. And I think it's the solstice today, isn't it? I think it's night and day are equal length, so it is the true beginning of spring today. And the sun is shining, so always puts you in a good mood. And it's a Friday, so that's all good. I'll press pause, and then we'll come back to this later. Right, it's 10 past 12, and I've just realised that I'm starting to run out of time. I don't want to make this a huge video again. It's long enough as it is. We're 18 minutes in now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it a day here, but I'm not going to close out of these positions. So we're going to have to just take a wrap as to where we are. Now, bear in mind, I've got that original position down from 25. I've got to move all these stops and get all these stops all sorted out. I've just left them all wide for now, but I'm going to bring all those up. So we'll take a time check at the moment. So I'm up £1,500 or $2,200 currently, and we're just going to have to see what's going to happen. It may just play around for the rest of the day, and so I don't want to keep on with this video update. But like I said, I'm going to see if we can get into the 77s, and then I'll see what I can do with it then, and then maybe start offloading a little bit then. If we can get up there, but if not, then I might just hold on to it a little bit. So that's a wrap for today. A bit of a weird one as far as live trading. I mean, I put those 2 extra units in, and so far they're running okay. But it would have been so much better if I'd have been around down here. I would have put another couple of units in down there, and would now be sitting on even better gains. But that's just part and parcel of trading. You can't always be there in front of your screens when something sets up. Anyway, looking forward to doing the rant on Monday, and stay safe out there and enjoy your weekends.